Let me introduce to you all tonight's interviewer, Malabika Bora Brahma. Born and raised in the northeast of India, in our beautiful place Assam, Malabika is an engineer by trade. She is a resident of New Jersey, USA. She does poetry, a great contributor to the community, with a keen interest in creative writing and acting. Now, over to Malabika.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you for your kind words. Now, I take the pleasure to welcome everyone in the audience and our guest of the evening, Arnab Jan Deka, who is an engineer, a lawyer, a writer, and a movie maker too. He has joined us all the way from my home state, Assam, India. Today, the topic of the evening is the river Brahmaputra, a lifeline with mood swings. Arnab Jan has done many work and he did a lot of research on this river Brahmaputra, and it is his passion because of which he is here today with us. So Arnab, welcome to the show.
Oh yes, thanks a lot, Malabika. It is great to be joining this episode. You in New Jersey in the USA, and I am sitting in this summer heat at the bottom of the Himalayas, enjoying the monsoon rain on the banks of Brahmaputra in my city of Guwahati in Assam, India. And I look forward to a very lively conversation.
And I am also all set with my set of questions on River Brahmaputra to talk to you, because I know how passionate you are about this subject.
Yes.
Okay. So my first question, I will go with which relates to your association with Dr. Bhupen Hazarika, the bird of Assam. He, in many of his songs, he expressed his love and passion for River Brahmaputra. In one of his such evergreen songs, he referred to this river as Mohabahu Brahmaputra, Mohamilonor, describing this river as a holy shrine, assimilating all different communities and cultures from the valley. So how do you see that being applicable going forward?
Yes, I was in fact lucky to be close to this music legend from Assam from my childhood. As such, I had the rare privilege to understand with an insider view how the legend saw the might and potential of the river as the meeting pot of various cultures and confluence of different ethnic ways of life. Those who are familiar with the 4,000-year-old Brahmaputra civilization culminating in its present state are aware that this wide river valley welcomed and gave shelter to almost all major races of civilized humans, right from Mongoloids, Aryans, and Negritos. And this extraordinary tradition of assimilation of cultures still continues in this valley. That is how I see it.
Okay. Actually, you said very well. My next question I think it will get attention from my audience. How can a river be a main, right? River Brahmaputra, it has earned an unique distinction of being the only main river in Indian Hindu mythology. What do you think? How Brahmaputra has earned this unique distinction?
Actually, it all melts down to the strong mythological undercurrents which can still be felt in this particular river valley. Just for everybody's information, the Brahmaputra original Assamese word simply means son of the world's creator, that is Brahma. According to Hindu mythology, among the top three gods, Brahma created the whole universe, Vishnu nurtured it, and Lord Shiva will eventually destroy it. That traditional belief puts special status to this river among the local inhabitants. Moreover, among all the big rivers of the world, Brahmaputra is the most unique one. It flows down from the highest point among all of them. Because of the steep gradient of the river, Brahmaputra earns some extra vigor and energy which is brutal and ruthless at times. Such characteristics are usually synonymous with males of all species. This is another reason why Brahmaputra earned this distinction or notoriety as the male river. That is what I deduced.
So that's how we see River Brahmaputra as calm and quiet on top,
Yeah.
but that's so deep, but so current inside it. Okay.
Yes.
Okay. My next question, it is about Hihu, the river dolphin, because it is native to the River Brahmaputra. As of today, as we know, the River Brahmaputra, it has been one of the last bastions of river dolphin, which we call Hihu. It has totally become either distinct or in the verge of being distinct. Presently, these dolphins, they can be found in the basins of Amazon, Ganges, or the Brahmaputra. In Brahmaputra also, they are under threat right now due to poaching and pollution. Can you please enlighten us on the measures being taken to preserve and conserve these species from the government as well as from the NGOs?
Brahmaputra river dolphins are actually called gangetic dolphin or Platanista gangetica, and are found in Ganges, Brahmaputra, Meghna, and Karnafuli river system in India, Nepal, as well as Bangladesh. As of now, there are total around 2,000 dolphins covering all these river basins. It has been declared as one of the endangered species in 1996. These dolphins are killed for their oil, which is believed to have some rheumatic relief properties. The oil is also used as bait to catch catfishes in the river, and the count is also depleting due to the reduction in fish numbers in the river. As you know, fish is the staple diet of river dolphins. And so far as governmental and non-governmental initiatives on preservation or conservation are concerned, India government has started one Bikramshila Gangetic Dolphin Sanctuary in the state of Bihar in a place called Bhagalpur. And in Assam, Dibrugarh University, which is a state government university, together with an NGO named Aranyak, has been conducting a project on Brahmaputra river dolphin for their conservation. And there is another organization, Dolphin Foundation, which is also undertaking study on it. And to my knowledge, even WWF have started another project for the same purpose. And at the river Kulsi, which is a tributary of Brahmaputra flowing down from Meghalaya on the south, there is a residential conservation of Brahmaputra dolphin program in collaboration with local riverine people. And there is a captive breeding program going on currently.
Interesting.
Yeah. And it has been showing encouraging signs to arrest the depletion of its count. And there is more of my personal involvement at the initiative of British environmentalist and author Tess Joyce. Our NGO, Assam Foundation India, has also adopted an Indo-British environmental project called Save the Brahmaputra River, under which conservation of all marine animals, that include the Brahmaputra dolphins, is a key object. Our project is currently engaged in creating awareness about the environmental challenges to this mighty river, and we hope to take up actual conservation of river dolphins with marine biologists and other professional help after this successful campaign leading to more support internationally.
That's right. We really want to see the number of river dolphins increasing. That gives, it's not only the beauty, but I mean, it's a beauty of the river when you see the Hihu dolphins, jumping when you go to enjoy the river. But then also it is an endangered species right now. So wish you all the best. And with an applaud to Aranyak, I think Arnab, when you mentioned Arnab also won Green Oscar, right?
Yeah, recently one of their members, not as an organization, but one of their member has been recently being awarded for her work on preservation of, conservation of hargila, a kind of big birds, stork, which is called, stork in English and hargila in Assamese. And she has been awarded the Green Oscar by the royal family of Britain. Very recently, within last 1 month or so. Yeah.
Hi, everybody. I hope you're enjoying our first episode of Stay in Touch and hope this information is useful for you. For any questions or comments, please post it on the link of our Facebook page of Stay in Touch as shown on the screen, and we will get back to you shortly. Now, let's go back to Malabika for the last round of discussions. Over to Malabika.
All right. Thank you, Tara. With an applaud to Arnab and Tess Joyce. Let me move to my next question, which is based on the current situation back at home right now. As we know, this region is known for its perennial floods. Nowadays, these floods, at times even twice a year, are making life more and more miserable by permanently displacing people by erosion or sending out miles and miles of cultivating land. We keep hearing 4, 5, 6 villages getting vanished into the river overnight, just like that. It happens every year, along with flood control and irrigation department. Still, the water of Brahmaputra and its tributaries are not under control. Now, my question is, what do you think this chronic issue can get some working fixes to control flood and life and property damage? Also, I would like you to enlighten us on how your project is involved or focused on the damage control, on the, in this perspective on the quality life, basically.
Let me start with the current data regarding the flood in Assam. As of July 2017, of the 33 districts in Assam, 29 were hit by floods, affecting nearly 1.8 million people. The total number of people losing their lives in this year's flood-related cases stands at 76, including 8 in my Guwahati city itself, the capital of Assam. The Kaziranga National Park has a heritage site. It has been underwater with 80% of its area inundated. And from my own study, as well as wisdom earned over the years of long association with some of the world's leading river engineers, hydraulic experts, and geomorphologists, I arrived at a simple formula to solve this perennial flood and erosion problem for good. Number one, a mechanism needs to be developed for early forecasting of flood and erosion at vulnerable points at the entire stretch of Brahmaputra. Based on this study and this early warning system, 2 immediate actions should be undertaken simultaneously. One, both the evacuation of people and animals, together with other valuables, should be undertaken from the vulnerable locations immediately on getting the warning. And secondly, adequate engineering measures to be undertaken on war footing to check the probable damages due to flood and erosion on those vulnerable points. That may include temporary measures like geobag dumping at the vulnerable points, geo-carpeting on the river bank to check erosions. And long-term measures need to be adopted fast, include desiltation of the river bed through dredging, construction of desilters at the upper reaches of the rivers, then retaining of the excess water during rainy seasons at the upper reaches of the rivers, then strengthening the dikes and embankments, then as we know, the river Brahmaputra constituting braided channels can be trained by constructing hard nodal points with guide banks and spars or groins, which is called in general terms as river training. I won't go into details of this engineering terminologies as of now. And then there is land reclamation by use of concrete porcupines on shallow river beds near the banks, renewed reforestation of the river banks as well as the plains and hills around the rivers, and then clearing of the encroached marshy land and rejuvenate them to retain excess stormwater during flood season. Apart from these long-term measures to be adopted, what I have done through my Brahmaputra research and concern activities that involves several practical issues like coordinating with world's leading experts to bring in latest technology of river engineering to Assam and train the local engineers and field technicians about their utility, and trying to setting up an institute on river engineering in Assam, in Guwahati city, to collect and regularly analyze real-time data relating to the river like water flow velocity, volume of water passing, sediment load, rainfall volumes, satellite imagery with dynamic maps like that, then institutionalizing early flood and erosion warning system with already developed softwares like DELFT from Denmark and ILMS from Germany, Integrated Land Management System, which softwares had been made available to us by our esteemed foreign research collaborators who happen to be the top river scientists of the world. And then conducting regular hydraulic model study, both physical and mathematical. Mathematical means computer simulation of the actual rivers, and to study is different aspects. And physical models means actual proportionate model that we construct to study the rivers, to understand the characters of Brahmaputra and other tributaries as well. And then there is the other aspects on which we are working is like creating awareness about the environmental hazards and challenges currently faced by the river that include pollution of the river through garbage dumping, release of untreated industrial effluent, direct linking of urban sewage system to the river, industrial oil exploration. As you know, Assam is almost floating on oil, one of the richest oil reserve of the world. And then extensive fishing on the rivers, then construction of big dams with sole motive of power generation, both in India as well as in China over Brahmaputra and its tributaries. So on these areas largely on which we are conducting our research as of now.
It's quite informative. I like the idea of the model hydraulic studies, and also the your initiation that you mentioned about collecting data from the rivers.
Yeah,
that's really interesting.